Hello, everyone. This is Misha from Connecting Kindly. Have you ever thought about creating your own podcast? Well, if you have, let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor makes it real easy, and guess what? It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And guess what? You can even earn money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now, if you're interested in creating your own podcast, you can go ahead and download your free Anchor app, or you can go to Anchor FM to get started today. No, correction, that's Anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is Misha with Connecting Kindly. I bid you peace and blessings this morning. I hope everyone is doing well and is blessed this morning. Just wanted to come to you today to do another podcast. Today, I just kind of wanted to talk about how our lives don't belong to just ourselves. I think a lot of times in life, people don't realize or maybe don't care about the next person. Everything that we do in life, unless you live on an island all to yourself and you're not living with anyone else, your life can have an effect on someone else. And, this is something that, I've often thought about. And I said, I got to do a podcast, got to talk about this, because I don't think that we are conscious about this. I don't think we really think about how we affect other people, the way we talk to each other, the way we react to each other. It's just really about being responsible and having some accountability. So this is what we'll talk about today. And like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope, in the midst of so much going on, that we have been able to maintain. I definitely want to encourage everyone to relax, to take some moments to meditate, to use some positive coping skills, because there's a lot going on right now. And so, even with the things that we talk about here, they may seem small, but they're really big, because, we're going to make it. We're going to be fine, but it takes everyone to uplift each other, to support each other, so that we can continue to live on and have somewhat of a normal life right now. But back to the subject, I just want to take that moment to encourage everybody to say, keep your head up and stay strong. But yes, really, the things that we do, the way we live our lives, will have a great effect on others most often. So let's just take a look at a few areas. Let's even look at starting with the beginning of life as a parent. When we're born into the world, the things that our parents pour into us, or our community, or those that are around us pour into us, have a great effect on us. If you have parents that were nurturing and loving, most likely you're going to grow up and be nurturing and loving. If you grew up in a hostile type situation, you most likely, or you may, not oftentimes, all the time, you may grow up and just display those same things that you saw. So, we really have to be careful about what we display around our children or grandchildren or whomever, we're around that are impressionable. But those are ways that we can affect other people also. But even in daily life, even if you're working a job, if I am lazy, if I'm not doing my part, I'm hurting someone else. I'm hurting my employer. I'm hurting my coworkers. If I'm a husband or a wife and I'm dropping the ball, or I'm not doing my part, I'm hurting my family. When we do certain things as a man or a woman in the household, if we're not being responsible, if we're not being accountable, we're hurting our family, young people, out here in the streets, those that are taking each other's lives. You're affecting lives, families. It's like a snowball effect. It never ends. It never ends. And I really don't think that we are conscious of how we're hurting other people, or maybe sometimes we just don't care. When you go to the grocery store, or if you go to the store and you're rude to the cashier, you're affecting that person. You're disturbing that person's mood. When you're hateful or mean, you're affecting the next person. But on the flip side, when you're able to show love and kindness, you're affecting somebody in a positive way. When you can give a person a smile or a hug or a word of advice, or if you're in the grocery aisle in a self-checkout and you see that person next to you struggling and you walk over and you help them, that's affecting them in a positive way. Focusing on the negatives, but I definitely want to focus on some positives too. But I want to cause us to think and let us know that we affect other people. Your life doesn't just belong to yourself. Children, when you go out and you do great at school or you do great in life, you bring a sense of pride to your parents. You make them very proud. You make your family members proud. But if you go out and you're getting in trouble, or if you're causing heartache to others, you are hurting your family. Those are things we need to think about. Husband and wives, when you represent your husband or your wife in a righteous way or a good way, that brings them a sense of pride. But when you go out there and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, you're tearing that person down. We need to think about those things. Children, think about your parents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Think about your family when you're living your life. Don't be selfish. Just don't think that things that you do don't affect other people. Affect them in a good way. Make positive impressions, because it's already tough enough out here without us making things worse, right? Right. So, I just want us to think. So many examples, a lot of us have family members that have gotten themselves in some things, and it affects the whole family. It even causes death sometimes, because your family member may have some issues with other people, and sometimes innocent lives are taken. Sometimes you find yourself in a mix of something you really didn't want to be in because of someone else. We're affecting other people. Let's affect people in a good way. Let's make the next person feel happy. Don't make them hate that they hate to see you coming. Think, guys. Let's think. Your life doesn't just belong to yourself. I know sometimes, you may feel like, oh, it's not fair, But that's life. Life is what it is. Parents, we sacrifice, we work hard because we want to provide for our family. We want to be careful and make sure we have life insurance policies so that when we go on, we can leave something behind for our children. We're not thinking about those things. Life insurance, that's a big pet peeve of mine. You need life insurance, guys. You're not going to live forever. Of course, you're dead. You're not thinking about it because you don't have to worry about it, but you're leaving something or a burden on that next person. We have to be responsible. We have to be accountable. Let's leave something behind for our children. Let's leave an inheritance for them to make their lives easier. Let's have a positive effect on them. Let's not leave them a burden. Let's not leave them, hurt on top of hurt because they're already grieving. But now, they're having burden and along with their grief. So many examples of how Our lives don't just belong to ourselves. When we don't take care of our bodies, let's think about that. When we don't feed our bodies good things, if we don't exercise, if we don't practice good, let's see, how can I say this? If we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't practice good eating habits, if we don't exercise and things of that nature, and our body starts to deteriorate, who is going to take care of us then? There again, we're affecting someone else. You know, it's so broad, you know, so many examples of how we affect other people when we don't use our money wisely. And we may not be able to handle things on our own, and we have to go to other people. And I'm not, no, don't listen now. I'm not talking about, you know, just you've gotten yourself in a bind because of life or on something unexpected. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those that may be gambling away their money or foolishly just being irresponsible with money. That's what I'm talking about. I strongly believe that family should be there for each other. Loved ones should be there for each other to help hold each other up. Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm talking about us being accountable, guys. I'm talking about us being responsible. It's so deep. You know, I mean, it goes into so many areas. Like I said, it goes into our parenting. It goes into even friendships. It goes into children, your behaviors. It goes into husband and wives, your behaviors. It goes into family members' behaviors towards each other. It goes into strangers, how we're interacting with each other. It goes into us just being good citizens or not being good citizens, or good neighbors or not being good neighbors. So many things, so many ways that we touch other people's lives. Having respect for one another, being disrespectful is a way that you affect someone else's life. Nobody wants to deal with a disrespectful person. Nobody wants to deal with a rude person. I don't like walking around angry or upset. And I don't like people disturbing my peace. I don't like anybody disturbing my peace. I am a calm, relaxed person. I don't like drama. I don't like people bringing that to me. How we are affecting other people. You got some people that love drama. They love it. They thrive on drama. No, I can't do it. You are affecting somebody else in a negative way. Let's do things to improve ourselves so that we not only can have a happier life, but we can make somebody else's life happy. Stop dishing out so much grief to people. You know, the purpose of this podcast is for us to see ourselves, for us to help each other, for us to learn together, to discover together. That's the purpose of this podcast. Connecting kindly. How do I want to connect with the next person? Do I want to connect with them in an angry way or negative way? Or do I want to connect with somebody in a kind, warm, loving, peaceful way? That's what connecting kindly is about. Happy things, you know, self-improvement, uplifting, encouragement, kindness. Those are the things that are going to help us grow. Those are the things that's going to help us to become stronger people, especially right now. There's enough anger in the world, to go on for centuries, you know. Let's begin to do the little things that we can do to make this world better, little bit by little bit, piece by piece. You know, change starts within yourself. It starts with you. And, you know, like I said, everything that I say to you goes to me first. I'm not always in the best of moods, you know, but when I'm not in a good mood, I prefer not to talk to someone. And I'm not perfect, you know, I have to get myself in line quite often. But that's what you have to do. We have to look at ourselves. We have to analyze things. The first thing to solving a problem is first you have to see that there is a problem. So you identify that there's a problem. Now, let's see what kind of solutions we can find. So then we begin to look and find a solution. Now, let's take that solution and put it into action. That's how you solve a problem. But first, you got to see that there is a problem. And what we want to do on a daily basis is to create better habits. Create better habits. No matter how big, no matter how small you think it is a good thing to create better habits. Instead of mugging somebody every time you see them, smile every now and again and say, hi, throw your hand up and wave at somebody. You don't have to mean mug people all the time. And you don't have to like everybody, but it is a good thing to be civil with people. You go to work and you work with somebody that you don't like. You don't have to love them, but you don't have to be miserable just because you're working around that person. You have to be smart about things. I want you to be the best person that you can be. I want you to have a life that has peace in it. And your peace starts with yourself. My sister-in-law always talks about toxic people. Sometimes you have to look in your life and see what's toxic. What things do I need to get rid of? Change the things that you can change. The things that you can't change, let's figure out what you can do to, move that thing around or get it out of your way. But, these are some things I just want you to think about. Just think about it, How are you affecting the next person? Are you being a positive in somebody's life, or are you being a negative in someone's life? Are you lifting somebody up, or are you tearing somebody down? So you just remember this. Your life doesn't just belong to you. Like I said, unless you live on an island all by your lonesome, you're affecting someone else. So today I just want you to think, okay? Be accountable and be responsible for your actions. Be a positive in someone's life. Don't be a negative. This is Misha, once again with Connecting Kindly. Please make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. That's Connecting, KONNECTING, Kindly. Also find me on Facebook, Connecting Kindly. Please like my page. Please share. Please comment. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you want to talk about, what you need to discuss. So once again, I'll see you soon. Please have a blessed and a peaceful week. Bye.